At the beginning of the story, we see a plane where two soldiers were returning home after the end of World War II. But then they realize their plane is passing over the Bermuda Triangle. Because of this, all the plane's instruments begin behaving strangely, and shortly after that, some enormous birds start crashing into the plane's windows. Because of this, it was no longer possible for them to keep the plane under control. One of them then grabs a parachute and jumps out along with his companion. At that time, he lands on a nearby island, but his other companion was about to fall into the sea. Before that could happen, a gigantic crocodile snatched the soldier right out of the air and devoured him. Seeing this, the first soldier's soul trembled, and he understood that his own end was coming very soon. Now the story jumps forward several years to another plane where a man named Hao was traveling with his daughter Lin. Lin's boyfriend Xuan was also present with her. Because of this, Lin's father Hao was not at all pleased with Xuan's presence. So Hao tries to convince his daughter to keep her distance from Xuan, but she in turn tells him to go back to his seat. After which, Hao glares at Xuan with angry eyes. But just then, suddenly, the plane begins shaking violently. All the passengers are frightened and put on their oxygen masks. In truth, this plane was also passing over the Bermuda Triangle. Because of this, all its instruments had stopped working, and then, just as before, the collision with giant birds causes fire to break out in one of the plane's engines. Now, to save the passengers' lives, the pilots attempt to land the plane on a nearby island. At that same moment, a section of the plane breaks apart mid-air. Because of this, several passengers fall out. Then somehow Hao reaches Lin and holds her safely. On the other side, the pilots somehow manage to land the plane on the surface of the sea. But because of its high speed, the plane strikes a mountain, and after breaking into two pieces, the section carrying the passengers spins through the air and heads straight toward the island's shore. This causes everyone to lose consciousness. A little while later, when Hao regains consciousness, he finds himself alive. He then helps Lin and brings her outside. The plane was completely destroyed and very few people had survived. It also quickly became clear to all of them that the island had no drinking water and no phone had any signal. So everyone quickly begins collecting essential items from the passengers' luggage so they could be used wisely. But somewhere deep down, Hao had understood that this way they could survive for 2 days at most. So mustering his courage, he decides to go into the nearby jungle to arrange food and water. Xuan joins him along with one of the surviving passengers, a professor, and they head into the jungle. After walking some distance, they reach a small hut which was clearly built by that surviving soldier as a shelter. Going inside, they find several weapons and also an English diary. Reading it, the professor who had accompanied them explains that according to the diary, there are gigantic monstrous creatures on this island. Hearing this, Hao is frightened and immediately starts heading back toward the shore with Xuan so they can warn the rest about this danger. On the other side, unaware of all of this, a man named Fong starts a fight with a female crew member over the last remaining water bottle. Seeing this, another man named Li starts beating Fong, and in the blink of an eye, the two of them end up fighting all the way to the water's edge. Seeing this, one man tries to stop their fight, while the rest just stand there watching. Just then, Li's pregnant wife Xia arrives and separates Li from the fight, and at that same moment, the other man also pulls Fong away from Li. But just then, suddenly, a person standing on the shore notices movement in the sea, and in the very next instant, a gigantic crocodile attacks the man who had been keeping Fang away from Li and kills him. Seeing this, everyone is terrified and begins to flee. But the crocodile comes ashore and kills another man. Then Tabli takes all the remaining people and flees from there. A little while later, when the professor Hao and Xuan reach back near the shore, they see the crocodile's enormous tracks. Seeing these, they begin following the tracks. On the other side, the crocodile was continuously chasing everyone, eating the people who fell behind as it moved forward. At that same time, Fong and a girl named Xiao go off in a different direction, while Li takes Xia, Lin, and some of the others and heads off in another direction. After a while, they reach a river with clean water, where no danger is felt. So everyone rests for a while, and seeing the clean water, they not only drink it, but also clean their bodies. But just then, suddenly Li hears the sound of someone moving through the nearby bushes. Everyone goes completely silent. However, as soon as they see the professor Hao and Xuan emerging from the bushes, everyone breathes a sigh of relief. Now, Lin was just about to happily embrace Xuan when Hao tells everyone to stay silent, because he could hear the sound of someone moving nearby. In truth, behind a large rock nearby, the crocodile was hiding and waiting for a human to come close. And now, the moment a passenger approaches it, the crocodile moves near him. Seeing this, the man's body breaks down from fear in front of everyone, and in the very next moment, the crocodile eats him alive. Seeing this, everyone is badly frightened and starts running to save their lives. Just then, the crocodile leaps directly toward Hao to eat him. But Hao jumps onto a nearby rock to save his life. At that same moment, another man gets trapped between the rocks and the crocodile ruthlessly devours him too. But Hao gets a chance to escape and reaches the rest of the group again. Now to save everyone's lives, Hao brings them to the soldier's hut where they find some weapons and everyone decides to stay there for the night to save themselves. The next morning, Hao gets up early and sets off into the jungle to find fruit. On the other side, Fong was still alive with Xiao, and from Xiao's words, it was clearly evident that she was a very carefree girl, because even in such difficult circumstances, she was not worried about her own life, but was troubled thinking about her followers. Now, walking along, Fang and Xiao reach a spider's web area where Xiao accidentally bumps into a tree. Because of this, a green sticky substance gets all over her body. Fang then makes fun of her, and afterward both of them head toward the nearby river so Xiao can clean herself. But they paid no attention to the fact that the sticky substance was actually eggs of the island's giant spiders which they had destroyed. On the other side, Lin also wakes up, and waking Xuan goes outside to look for Hao. But coming outside, their senses desert them because through the mist they can see gigantic spiders that had surrounded the entire area. Seeing this, Lin immediately goes back inside and wakes Xia and Li, and after everyone learns what is happening, they are all badly frightened. Now they had no choice but to slowly make their way out of there while avoiding the spider's attention. So Li quickly picks up a piece of wood and begins slowly moving forward with everyone. But just then, spider venom drips on one of the men who is with them. He panics, and at that moment the spider attacks him and makes him its prey. Seeing this, everyone is badly frightened and starts running fast to save their lives. But now the spiders start chasing them. Meanwhile, their screams reach Hao, who is somewhere not far away. After this, he also immediately starts running toward the rest. On the other side, all the others were continuously running to save their lives. But just then, suddenly, another spider appears in front of them, which forces everyone to stop. Now, the spider tries to attack Xia and Li. However, the two of them somehow manage to escape. Just then, the professor throws a stone at the spider to save their lives. The spider, in its anger, starts running toward him. Seeing this, the professor breaks away from the rest and runs into the jungle. Li and Xuan were just about to go help him when more spiders arrive there, because of which they too have to run in the other direction. Now, to save their lives, everyone hides in the nearby bushes and waits for the spiders to leave. At that same moment, the spiders climb up into the trees, and just then Hao also arrives running. Now Hao spots the rest, but the spiders were up above, so instead of going to them, he looks at the spiders and deliberately shouts loudly. The attention of all those spiders shifts toward him, and they all now start chasing Hao. Because of this, the rest get a chance to flee from there. On the other side, Hao saves his life by getting back to the same hut where the professor had already been hiding. But after coming inside, Hao sees that the spiders are standing outside waiting for them. And when after a long time neither of them comes out, the spiders start attacking the hut with their legs. At that same moment, the professor is badly injured. Seeing this, Hao repeatedly strikes the spider's legs, but the professor was too severely injured, because of which Hao is unable to save him. After this, the spider starts attacking Hao. To escape, Hao breaks through the wall and comes outside, but the spider grabs Hao's leg with its sharp leg and starts dragging him. To save his own life, Hao first cuts off the spider's leg and then pulls the pin of a grenade and throws it toward the spider. The moment the explosion happens, the spider dies, and Hao flees from there. On the other side, Li was continuously moving forward with the rest. At that same time, they reach a small river. But while crossing the river, the same crocodile attacks them. At that moment, it was advancing toward Lin to make her its prey. Seeing this, Xuan tries to save her life, but ends up right in front of the crocodile himself. However, before the crocodile can eat him, Hao arrives there and saves Xuan. After this, Hao pulls out a dagger and provokes the crocodile to come toward him. As the crocodile moves in his direction, it falls into the water on the other side, and seizing this opportunity, everyone escapes from there. Now Lin embraces Hao and apologizes for her bad behavior, and Hao also forgives her. On the other side, Fong and Xiao had reached a spot with clean water. Xiao starts cleaning herself. At that time, she was looking quite beautiful, because of which Fong gets close to her and tries to impress her. But Xiao understands his intention and tells him to keep his distance. But when Fong does not listen, Xiao kicks him. Just then, from under the water, the crocodile emerges and grabs Xiao's leg and starts dragging her down. At that moment, Xiao grabs Fong's leg out of fear, But instead of helping her, Fong kicks her and leaves her to the crocodile and runs forward himself. On the other side, Hao was still in the jungle with the rest. While walking, they reach the wreckage of the plane that had crashed at the beginning of the story. Searching there, Hao finds a machine gun and a radio, and the surprising thing was that the radio was still working. Then Lin uses it to contact the military and tells them about the island and asks them to send help. The military agrees to send help. Now after this, Hao and everyone else quickly start heading toward the seashore because help was going to arrive within just a few hours. But just then along the way, they spot Fong, whom seeing alive, everyone is astonished. Although nobody wanted Fong to come along with them. Out of humanity, they let him join them. Although before moving forward, Hao threatens Fong and tells him to stay away from Lin and Xuan. After walking for a while, everyone reaches a large river, and crossing it was essential to get to the seashore. But Xia could not swim because she was pregnant, so Hao and the others work together to build a small raft for her. Now Hao ties a rope to the raft and swims to the other side of the river. The rest were supposed to use the rope to push Xia's raft to the other side. But the moment they move a little forward, Hao senses something strange, and then his eyes fall on the crocodile advancing toward them fast through the water. Seeing this, everyone is frightened and starts moving quickly toward Hao. At that time, Hao first pulls Xuan and Lin out of the water. But on the other side, Fang, out of fear, starts swimming back toward the old bank, although Xia and Li were still in the water, and Li was only trying to save Xia. But the crocodile had come too close. Just then, Xia pushes the raft forward hard, and at the moment of the crocodile's attack, she puts herself in danger to save Li. But during this, Li sacrifices his own life so that Xia can survive. Now Hao and the rest pull Xia toward them. But Xia is completely shattered by Li's sacrifice, and everyone starts crying. Then Xuan and Lin somehow steady her, but the sound of her screaming causes the crocodile to advance toward them again. Not only that, Fang also comes back to the same bank now. Now seeing the crocodile coming, Hao tells everyone to run, and himself takes the machine gun and starts firing at the crocodile. But the bullets have no effect on it, and Hao too retreats and starts running again. At that point, the crocodile once again chases after them, and once again it is just about to catch Hao. But at the last moment, Hao leaps to one side and saves his life, and the crocodile moves ahead toward the others. At that same moment, Xia and the rest run in different directions, and Lin also goes the other way with Fong. But just then the crocodile starts chasing Fong and Lin. Along the way, Fong's foot slips and he falls. Seeing this, Lin tries to help him up, but instead of being saved by her, Fang pushes Lin toward the crocodile and runs forward himself. Now the crocodile heads straight for Lin. But at that same moment, Hao arrives there and fires at the crocodile, which shifts the crocodile's attention toward him, and Lin gets a chance to flee from there. Hao keeps continuously firing at the crocodile, and because of the repeated shots, the crocodile is wounded. But during this, a bullet also hits Fang, which causes his leg to stop working. Now the crocodile, seeing the wounded Fang, advances toward him. But by mistake, Lin gets tangled in the crocodile's tail, and the crocodile takes her along as it moves forward. Meanwhile, Fang suddenly dies from a heart attack out of fear, and the crocodile eats him and heads toward its cave. Now Hao and the rest also follow it and reach the cave. Night had fallen, and the crocodile was sleeping inside the cave. Just then, Xia is told to wait outside. But before stepping out, she sees Li's body. Seeing it, she begins crying again. But suppressing her voice, she steadies herself and moves toward the outside. Now Hao slowly advances toward the crocodile's tail, and there he finds Lin, who was injured but alive. Hao slowly begins taking her outside. But just then, Xuan realizes the crocodile has woken up and is about to attack them. Just then, Hao fires again. But the crocodile becomes even angrier, and Xuan somehow takes Lin outside. On the other side, Hao runs and goes deeper into the cave. There he tries to hide, but the crocodile keeps running around everywhere, chasing him. Now Hao had very little space left to hide when he crawls into a small hole where the crocodile cannot reach. During this, Hao fires at the crocodile again. But his bullets were now also running out, and just then he remembers his last grenade had fallen behind him. At that same moment, Xuan's voice comes from outside, and Hao shouts to him to find the grenade, because that might be the only way to finish off this crocodile. Xuan quickly starts searching for the grenade, and in a short while finds it. He then takes it and heads back toward the crocodile. Then, Hao tells him to throw his axe to distract the crocodile. The moment the crocodile comes toward it, Xuan throws the grenade near its mouth, and the moment the massive explosion goes off, the crocodile is shaken from within and falls to the ground. Hao now comes outside and hides behind a rock and feels relief watching the crocodile die. He then praises Xuan and gives him permission to stay with Lin. But just then, it suddenly becomes clear that the crocodile had not fully died, and it attacks Hao one last time. But Hao immediately picks up the dagger and strikes its neck and stomach, and this time the crocodile dies completely. Now Xuan immediately pulls Hao out from under the crocodile, and everyone starts running fast toward the seashore. Reaching there, they see that helicopters have arrived in the sky, and military help had finally come. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief. Lin and Xia look at each other and become emotional, and Hao also looks toward the distant sky and becomes calm. Now slowly, everyone is taken to safety, and those who had survived get into the helicopters and leave that dangerous island behind. Now that mysterious island of the Bermuda Triangle falls silent once again. All that remains are the broken pieces of the plane and the marks of dangerous creatures. And in this way, this entire terrifying journey finally comes to an end. If you had fun watching, drop a like, hype it up in the comments, and let me know your favorite scene. Subscribe to Midnight Recaps for more movie recaps every week, and tap the bell icon to get notified when I upload. Thanks for staying till the end. Catch you next time.